news.
Whoa!
Hi!
Playing with the camera.
Welcome to Wicked Wednesday. I am your host, Amy.
And I'm also your host, Kevin.
And here we are.
And beside us over there.
Look at you pointing the right way.
I did it. I didn't think which shoulder he was at.
You're pointing the wrong direction on my screen, but I don't know.
Am I really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. Oh, this is right on my screen? Yeah. Over
wherever
there
you can see everyone.
is Austin, and we'll be bringing him on in just a little bit. As you know, we start off the show with a little bit of bullshit and banter. And talking about all our stuff, and Austin knows he can chime in at any time.
Always.
Yeah. So yeah, we don't want anybody to think that we're ignoring.
No, because I think that like last week, and I think people were. I don't know what that was. That was a very large cat.
That was a cat
making an appearance.
If not, we're
anyways
going to catch something really cool on camera.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
But I think last week we were accused of ignoring our guest, which we do not do. We love our guests.
Before, we were, because last week was Ronnie.
Oh, it was Ronnie. The week before last. Yes.
Yes. And we try never to ignore our guests.
We don't want to ignore our guests. We love our guests. Like, they're the reason that we're here. But we just talk some
we shoot the
trash.
Shit
like
talk trash.
It's just like our weird, like, what's been going on in your house.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like gossip of each other for a minute. But we always make the rest of the show about our guests. So we just take a few minutes. So on that note, what's been going on in your house this week? Haunted wise.
The more of the same. It's picked back up just a little bit. With more of the noises, the dog jumping up in the middle of the night and barking, which I haven't been getting much sleep because I've been kind of hurting lately. And so that's like that's okay.
A very large cat over your backpack.
My backpack has now become my cat deputy. Yeah. So yeah, more of the same. The voices, I haven't heard the voices that sound like either Chandler or I.
Right.
I haven't heard that in a while. Chandler's my son, for those of y'all that don't know. And yeah, for the longest time, we were both reporting here and the other one. Like, once we'd go to bed or whatever, sometime during the night, there would be like a, hey, Dad, or a, hey, Chandler. And the same as if we're standing at the other side of the door. And then you'll answer it and get up and go open the door and nobody's there. That part hadn't happened, but there's been the noises like in the hall. There was the noise where I thought Chandler was up. And the dog's in with me. Mm-hmm. And it was enough of a ruckus that it made a ruckus. It was enough that I was like, what the? It's,
it was a what the fuck ruckus.
It was. I was like, what is he getting into at 1:30 in the morning?
Specify your ruckus level.
Yeah. It's ruckus.
It was a what
the
fuck ruckus level. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was an 8.
It was an 8.
Okay, that's a lot.
So I jumped up to find out what he was getting into, and it sounded like he was in the study, which
with the candlestick.
With the candlestick, yeah. It was the butler, but back off.
I'm sorry, I had
to. Which my bedroom is at.
Yeah,
really. So, my bedroom is at the end of the hall, and then you start down the hall, and to the left is the guest bath, and then or Chandler's bathroom, and to the right is the study. And it sounded like he was in there trying to find something.
In the study.
In the study with the candlestick. And so I got up and I opened the door, and it was so real that I opened the door saying, "What are you doing?" And I mean, like verbally saying, "What are you doing?" And I opened the door, and the house is black. And I walk into the study, and I'm like, "All right, what the hell? Nobody's in there." And I turn around. Of course, my dog's like, right with me. She was on the bed, sleeping on the other side of the bed. And so yeah, that was my activity for the week. Now you, on the other hand, now I don't know about the rest of your week.
The rest of my week has been quiet
until today.
Yeah,
and
the rest of my week has been quiet. Like no weird sounds in the middle of the night. No, like I wake up and hear a whole conversation going on in the other room. None of that.
No TV people or music.
No music.
But music here so often that
it does that I can't really put my finger on that. That happens. I'm gonna say close to daily. I hear the music. And it's not just me. Like I'm not like losing my mind.
I've heard
other
it, so
people hear the music too. It's just
what kind of music
I would play. It's like it's like music that's
it's just off enough that you're like, I know I'm hearing it and I'm hearing a beat, but I can't really put my finger on.
Right. Like I can't.
But it doesn't necessarily sound country. It doesn't necessarily sound rock.
Sounds like Morgan Wallen. No.
Yeah, no, it's So, but none of that. But today. So
today I'm quiet. Not quietly. I mean, I was vacuuming. It's not
that's quiet. Not quiet.
No. So I was like, I vacuum pretty much every day. If I miss a day, it's every other day. But typically I vacuum every day because
cats.
Because cats. I have these dicks that live in my house that I have to feed. And they, speak of the devil, this one, he's like, oh, you mean
I'll be over there.
I'll be over there in a minute so everyone can see my butthole because I know everyone that's looking. That's Stitch. But so I clean every day because or I vacuum every day because particularly there's this box right now in the living room that everyone loves and haven't gotten rid of, but it's become a scratching post. And little pieces of cardboard end up everywhere. Not just around the box. In fact, none of them are near the box. They're all everywhere else in the house. But anyway, so I don't, I'm not like a psycho, but I do vacuum every day because of these dicks. That have the same address as me. My coworkers.
Your coworkers.
If I work at home. So, but these dicks, no, today I was in there vacuuming like I always do in the kitchen, which sounds weird. I vacuum in my kitchen, but I put it on the low thing. Anyways, it's what I do. Just listen, folks. So I'm in there vacuuming like I do every day, if not every other day. Okay. And then we have the cabinet, the witch cabinet, the magic cabinet. Everybody has a different name for it, but that cabinet. I'll listen behind me about, I don't know how far. I showed you where I was,
3 feet.
Yeah.
You were.
No, I was farther than 3 feet.
Oh, you were staying when you were telling me you were.
Yeah, and I was near the refrigerator, so I was about 5 feet.
Yeah, 5 feet.
5 feet from said cabinet. The cord was not plugged anywhere in near that cabinet. In fact, the cord was plugged in here, where I'm pointing right now, so you know where I was. Crash. A sound, I've been a bartender, Kevin's been a bartender. We all know what that sound sounds like when, say, a wine glass shatters. Or glass breaks, period. That's what it sounded like. I was like, oh. So I stopped the vacuum and I was like, oh shit. Because that cabinet has a lot of things in it that I find, some are irreplaceable.
Mm-hmm. It's a special place.
Some are replaceable, but there's things in there that I can't. So I'm sitting there looking before I open the cabinet and I noticed that both the top doors are open. Now there's a thing that's in the middle that keeps them from opening all the way, but they were both open. So I opened them up. I looked. Nothing. Nothing was out of place.
Nothing broken.
Nothing broken. There were no shards of glass. There was no nothing.
Yep. And so then, without even telling me this story yet.
Right, and he didn't know all that. I kind of just like wrote that off. Like I was like, okay, whatever. It happened. You know, shit happens here all the time. And then like Kevin and I were standing in the kitchen. Were we eating?
No, it was right before. It was like dinner was almost ready.
All right, so look.
So we're just talking about the
just
show
stands
and
in
whatever.
my kitchen, like you're just standing in my kitchen, like just
place.
it is, and you're just like hanging out. And then we're talking, having a whole conversation, and boom.
Yeah, that was me, by the way. But
yeah, he did that. But
it
was
sounded like a cabinet door shutting
Mm-hmm.
like hard, and we both like stopped and looked at each other.
And I was like, I'm sorry to interrupt your story. He was telling me a whole story, and I was like, I'm so sorry to interrupt your story, but did you hear that? And he was like, yeah, I heard it. And I was like, okay, well, normally that wouldn't bother me. Normally I would have written that off, but let me tell you about what happened to me like, I don't know, an hour and a half ago.
Yep.
Before they got here.
And same general place. I mean, the
same area.
The witch cabinet's here, and then there's a corner, and then there's another cabinet here.
Where I want to make it into a coffee bar, but there's no plug.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about that. It makes me bitter.
But it sounded like the cabinet door at the bottom of that cabinet closing. I mean, it was a loud thud. And once I shut it, because it's got one of those spring-loaded where it kind of, you know, the piece goes in this piece. Or
they're not the old kind, or they're not the new fancy kind where they slow close.
No, yeah, it's got the actual thud into it. You know, it's because the piece that goes into the other piece is kind of tapered. So it's like thud. And it was, I opened it. When I shut it, it was that same dunk sound. And we both like stopped like, holy fuck.
But like where he was standing, he would have seen that cabinet open and close.
Yeah.
I would not, where I was standing, I wouldn't have, but I would have seen it behind him or on the other ones.
Yeah.
Or on the other side of the, or actually that cabinet, if it was the cabinet, I would have seen that.
Yeah, so
nobody saw anything, but it made a loud noise.
Yeah, it was loud. It was like
just like the glass breaking. Like no glass was found that was broken, but
it doesn't have to open very, you know.
It doesn't
have to open very far
just to get past that. You know, it's kind of shaped like an arrowhead where it's wide and then it tapers off. So once it's in there, it latches on this side of it, and it was definitely that. And
so it only had to open like that much, and it could have, you know, gone under the radar. Yeah.
I mean,
hey Ben,
and hello Ben. Ben says good evening all. So good evening.
Hey Ben.
Yeah, honestly, if it was sitting just on the other side of that catch, I probably, because I was looking at her.
Right. Like
so I probably wouldn't have seen it, but we were in that area a couple times before. And not to say I would have noticed a cabinet door opening that far or
but there
open
were
that
no
far.
Cats.
But yeah, no cats.
And typically, sometimes if you hear cabinet sounds, it's some dick trying to get in the cabinet, or it's already in the cabinet and can't figure out how to get out, because that's a frequent thing. Because my God, you got yourself in there, but how in the hell will you get out?
And there's no bread to sleep on there.
No, there is no bread in that particular cabinet. So the sound that we heard was not that orange one.
And it was unmistakable. I mean, we tried every cabinet door on that side of the kitchen, and once I did that one, we both kind of stopped and looked at each other like
that's it.
That's what we heard. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that was, and people that aren't in the investigative part of the community would be like, "What the fuck?" But to us, that's like,
I mean, we investigated it.
Like, that was substantial.
And the fact that we were having like a serious conversation beforehand, or like during, and like Kevin's telling me like story about his life or whatever, and things that are going on, and I'm like, I'm sorry.
That's exactly what.
I'm totally listening to your story about blah blah blah.
But did you just?
Did you hear that? And he was like, "Yeah, I heard it too." And I was like, "Okay, well, hold on. I got to tell you about what happened earlier before you got here."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "And I have not forgotten about your story about blah blah blah." And I repeated it back because I don't want to be that asshole.
The blah 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 story that you totally
Yeah.
Like I don't want to be that asshole. It's like, okay, I'm sorry. Like you're my bestie, and you were telling me a serious story, but hold on. No, because I heard every word that he was saying. I repeated it back, but we both were like, we went into investigative mode.
Yeah. So then we
and he's like, it's fine. We're investigators. Let's do this. And so we were trying to like repeat the sound again. Like,
and we found it though.
We did.
Yeah. So now it's like.
But we know
that takes some force to get past that latch too.
That sound too, to make that sound. Because that was like forceful. Like it wasn't like.
Yeah, it was like a
it
thump.
just closed quietly. It was like, I'm gonna close now.
Yeah, no.
No, it was like, I'm closing. Like... now.
Yeah, right now. Yeah, so yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you're, part of your paranormal activity waited till I got here anyway, right?
So, it's why today?
I know. Oh, what is today? Anything special?
No.
They said you got to have something to report on.
Oh, yes.
Your quota.
They're like, hey, shit, guys. It's
show night. Let's make some shit happen. Let's make it happen.
We're wearing our black.
Like,
so
we got black on. Let's do some shit.
Let's make some noise. She's only got one story this week.
Right. Yeah, she's good.
Include Kevin this week.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah,
let's
thanks
do it
for
to
including
them both.
you guys. Appreciate
Thanks, y'all. Wow. My ghosts are dicks too.
Yeah.
So yeah. What a week. And it's only Wednesday.
It is only Wednesday.
I mean, I don't have an excuse or explanation or anything to say about what happened in my house today, except, pardon me, I just burped. And that was rude, but it happens. My bad. Anyway.
Don't say funny shit when I'm drinking.
Well, don't put me out then.
Oh, well, I just did that after the fact.
I'm right. But so whatever. I don't know what happened. I mean, I do have some changes.
Changes.
It's happening this week. I have some changes coming this week. So yeah, maybe that's it. I do want to take a sidebar moment because last week we did not announce our shot that we tried, and we were both extremely happy. We didn't say anything about it.
We did not.
No, and people should know.
They should know. Do you know the full name of it, or do I need to pull up the picture?
Pull up the picture because I don't know, or I can go get it. But pull up the picture. Just go to my text and look at the pictures. Okay.
Are we getting shots to mix solidly?
We do love trying new whiskey.
We do love trying new whiskey.
And I decided to.
Oh, that's your freebies.
That's my freebies. That's the smoking stuff that I'm giving to Heather because she can use it in her thing.
There it is.
There it is.
All right, so
it's called Dirty Monkey.
Yeah, we drank some Dirty Monkey last week. See if I can get it to where it'll adjust right.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Monkey.
Banana.
Oh my goodness.
That sounds so good.
It was
banana
so
peanut
good.
butter. You would think they could seriously fuck that up.
Banana peanut butter. It was like,
It was amazing.
It's worth every penny. Like it. I think it's
good.
My new favorite.
That of the shots that we've done on the show, and we've done some really crazy shots on it. And we've done some that are supposed to be really good.
Right. We've had some good ones.
Yeah.
But
that is by far my other favorite whiskey right now is the Old Smoky cookie dough. And I know that doesn't sound very manly and I don't give a shit. But it's
I haven't tried it yet.
It is unbelievably good. And to me, this is equally, if not better than that. Mm-hmm. This is really good. It's you can taste the whiskey, which is nice. But you can also taste the peanut butter and you can taste the banana. But neither of those overpower either each other or the whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
And so it is this perfect blend of...
Yeah. What's it called? The stinky monkey?
The dirty monkey. I don't know if I drink the stinky monkey.
I gave it a new name.
Yeah, really. It's a stinky monkey.
Try the stinky monkey.
Try the stinky monkey. Drink my stinky monkey.
Yum.
But yeah, it was really, really good. And
yeah,
and
I mean,
go ahead.
The taste, like the fruitier, the sweeter. That's what I want. I don't want I don't want hard to put down liquor.
And it's like not, there's nothing like super fruity. It's not super banana-y either.
Yeah.
No, I think you would, even though
the peanut butter like hits you first, I think. And then I'm like,
it sounds great. I want to try that.
Oh,
yeah.
Banana.
Yeah, and then you're like, oh. So
yum.
Do you like the back notes of the whiskey? Do you like a whiskey flavor, or do you
yeah. I mean, I like all kinds of
the dirty
flavored
monkey.
Whiskey.
Yeah.
So
it's not dirty monkey, is it? Is it called dirty monkey?
It is dirty. You're okay. You're not being creepy right now. Try the.
Are you okay, Amy?
Try the dirty monkey.
But yeah, I think you and by all means try it and let us know.
And not all liquor stores carry it. So if you have a Total Wine, go there.
We've got like 4 or 5 liquor store options around here, so surely one of
them.
Like,
they don't like this place over here that Charlie's does not have it.
Yeah, so you need to go like big time.
I went to Total Wine.
Yeah.
No, I didn't. Like that's not a lie. I got it at Charlie's.
Did you?
Yeah, no, it was that s'mores one that I got for Barbara's retirement that I had to get at Total Wine.
Oh, yeah.
So I got this stinky
dirty monkey. He doesn't stink. Well, we don't know. He could be stinking and dirty.
Stinky monkey.
He can be anything you want.
Anyway, the dirty monkey I did get at Charlie's right around the corner.
The muddy ape.
Yeah.
The garbage orangutan.
Stinky guy liquor.
So yeah, you need to try it and definitely let us know. Yeah, what you think.
No, you're not going to be sad. I promise you. You're going to try that stinky dirty monkey. And you're gonna love it.
Yeah, and don't forget the cookie dough Old Smoky too.
Okay.
I haven't tasted that, so you can forget about that for a minute until you get a review from me.
Sorry, Kevin.
So anyway, back to the show.
Get a review from me.
Yeah, no. If you like that, then also try the cookie dough because it's.
I like the Old Smoky brand.
The cookie dough, yeah. Like I'm super excited. Like I'm gonna go next month and get to spend a week in Gatlinburg and go to Old Smoky. I'm so excited to do the taste test because I've done it before, but
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I'm jealous.
I'm excited just to go to like Dick's last resort.
Yeah.
Because I can't wait to see what he's going to put on my hat. Because I can be just as mean as those people. Bring it. Challenge accepted. Come on. What you got for me?
Yeah, really.
What you got? I'm going to give it right back. But I will smile and look sweet while I do it.
It's in your nature.
Duh.
Good.
Anyway.
So, Austin, did you grab a shot?
I did.
Perfect.
What'd you get?
My Hello Kitty shot.
Oh, that's amazing.
Ooh.
I've got triple sec, orange triple sec. So.
Oh.
Okay.
Cool. Well, we're doing. I described these to you earlier, so I've got it.
Very nice. I like that. I would have got that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So oh shoot. They kind of like that. Hold on. Okay. There we go again.
Cheers.
So cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Oh, wow. All right, that was a little harder than what we did earlier. That was probably not meant to be shot, but fuck it.
You want to drink the whole thing?
Really?
I didn't drink the whole thing.
Oh God, I'm fucked.
Yeah.
That was Traveler's whiskey.
Which we're not so supportive of because Kevin had already purchased it, but we're not so supportive of it, which I love. Don't get me wrong, I do love Chris Stapleton.
And it's his whiskey.
It's his whiskey. But it's made by who's it made by? Help me with my brain.
Fuck. That guy. Whiskey review show.
Anyway,
hey,
it's
American
made
Woman.
by,
Yes,
it's
whiskey
made
review show.
by a different whiskey company that is not supporting the LGBT community. And so I don't support that.
No. So anyway, she's finding out who we can bash. But yeah, we
can bash.
We bought this bottle back when it was
before the bashing happened.
Yeah, when it was Chris Stapleton.
And we love Chris Stapleton.
And it's honestly it's good whiskey. But now that it's come out that they're not supportive of different people.
Buffalo Trace. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's made by Buffalo Trace. Buffalo Trace does not support the LGBT community. And
if people have problems with things, just let it go.
The daughter of the owner of Buffalo's Trace has started her own whiskey that is supportive of everyone.
Yeah, as it should be.
And she's probably going to make money off that.
I would imagine.
Because her dad is being kind of a close-minded prick.
Mm-hmm.
Prick?
I did say prick.
I thought so.
We're an exclusive or X-rated show.
X-rated.
He's a prick. I mean, why are you not supporting that?
I didn't come prepared for this.
What did I say?
X-rated. All right, guys. Now for the next part of the show.
Now the next part, the X-rated part, is coming up next.
That's behind our paywall.
Right? I mean,
wow. Sorry, Austin. You didn't know what you were getting into?
No.
This is not what I signed up for.
You didn't tell me.
Shit.
So.
We'll do overtime, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
I think so, yeah.
I think we probably need to be.
We need to be done.
Yeah.
I'm done.
So, ladies and gentlemen.
We welcome
Austin.
Welcome to the show, Austin.
Hello.
Hey, Austin. So
station.
Yeah. So you've been kind of chatting with us, but for those of our listeners that don't know who you are and what you've got going on, give us a little bit of
who you are,
what you got going on.
That's what you said. Who are you? What do you have?
You look like some old guy. God. But I can't see him, but yes. Oh yes. He's got horns on. Is that horns?
Fancy.
You sound like
he's like
let us know.
You sound like minor Billy Bob Thornton from the 1800s. I'm Austin Light. I'm the creator of the brand American Demon Comics, and I make comics, and I plan on making comics for the rest of my life.
As you should.
And I'm working on the title Envy, and Envy is this is issue number 2. Envy is kind of the figuring out everything. I do call it a guinea pig project, and I feel like that might be throwing people off. That might sound like I don't have an attachment to the story like I would my other projects. That is not the case. I love doing this story. It's been so fun, and it's pretty much just kind of like, I like having a prompt, and I could have a passion for a prompt for almost anything if I can, kind of go with it where I want. So Envy is a story where I get to experiment a lot and try and figure out my process, figure out how I work as a writer and as an artist, and develop that. But I do love it, and I do put everything that I've got into it and making it good. So it's a webcomic. All my comics are going to be webcomics. You can read them online. There might be some in the future that'll be exclusive. You won't be able to see them unless you sign up for something. But for now, it's available on my website. In a little bit, we'll pull that up and I'll show you what's going on there. But yeah, I started in the 3rd grade. I've made
hold on. Let's see. You started in 3rd grade, and we all know you're just a little baby boy. How old are you?
Like right now?
31.
31.
Okay. So you've been doing this like your whole life. Like, this is your love. This is what you love.
It's something I always come back to. So there have been, there have been moments where I'm like, okay, comics, I just don't know if that's going to work out. Let me try graphic design. Let me try animation. Let me try this whole fitness thing, because I also have another passion there in being healthy and stuff like that. So that I just kind of go on these different roads to see where I land, and I always kept coming back to wanting to make my own story with my own art in a way that I think is going to be a good story, and it's just something I couldn't escape. Now there's a lot of time that I've spent, I feel maybe wasted, from not getting to practice on all this stuff. I wish I knew where I was going to be at and started back when I was 21 or something like that, and have a decade under my belt. But I had to start somewhere. So
yeah, absolutely.
In 2019, I posted Envy as just kind of a see how it goes kind of thing on Webtoons. It didn't get a lot of traction. It didn't look that great. It wasn't well thought out, but I had a lot of fun getting to put it up and publish it on this platform and see the potential that I could make this story happen. Fast forward a few years, through a few hiatuses, through a few revisions, and I decided to revamp the story and go full-fledged into it and make it not only for web consumption, but also make it in the physical print, so that I could have stuff to kind of promote at conventions and be able to give people that want that physical experience to have it. Right. So that's what I'm doing now, and I plan on doing that into the future. So
yeah, as you should, man. I've seen some of your stuff.
It's good to do what you love.
Yeah, and I mean the talent is it's there, dude. So yeah, I love that you're embracing just that part of yourself and saying, kind of fuck it,
yeah.
And
I say that every day.
Huh? You say that every day?
And you don't support me when I say fuck it.
I support you every time you say fuck it. So yeah.
I say that out loud in my life.
I'll start verbalizing that. Amy, I embrace your fuck it.
Something you should support. Pay attention.
Granted.
Pay attention.
Granted.
Yeah, granted, because sometimes my fuck-its are not good. Sometimes my fuck-its are bad, and you go,
you gotta know how to differentiate which one.
Yeah.
You cannot say fuck it on this level, Amy. But this.
But I'll support you in your fuck it, but you might want to reconsider it.
Let's rethink.
Yeah, but
let's rethink the fuck it. No,
dude, I I don't know. I respect that. And, from what I've seen of your work, and, here in a little bit, we're going to get to see, kind of your website and things like that. And I'm looking forward to seeing more of that, just because I would like to delve into it a little more and I don't know, see exactly what you're doing. Just because, I think it's worth visiting.
All right.
But look, he has horns, but he has a very sweet face and he has very kind eyes.
Yeah. Well, that's where they get you.
Yeah.
That's where they
That's
get you.
always they get you.
The deception.
Yeah, absolutely. But like,
I love that though.
Look, my face is pretty. My eyes are nice. So I have a little bit of horn. Just ignore that. Oh, hold on. We can put a hat on. I put a hat on, you'll never even see those horns.
No. Why are you always in that top hat?
Right there, the big top hat. Yeah.
I look good in it. Look at it.
Yeah.
And I want to write about all, I want to incorporate fitness. Like I said earlier, that's one of my passions. But another one of my passions is like I grew up watching all these, in retrospect, very silly and stupid, like cryptid, like Animal Planet documentaries and stuff like that, where they were, they would exaggerate everything. You never saw anything, but they would make it seem like you were seeing something.
Yeah, exactly.
And but I love that stuff, and I love like the idea of the chupacabra and Bigfoot and UFOs. Like aliens really got to me as a kid, and they still get to me now, because like I actually, the idea of dimensions.
Wait. Do you have an alien encounter story?
No, I don't. And I'm glad I don't.
I mean, me too, because you know what? I'm not so like, I'm all like, oh yeah, it'd be great. Like you see these memes. It's like, oh yeah, it'd be great if I meet an alien. That's going to take me away from all this bullshit. Oh no, they're going to put something in your bottom, according to what everybody says. So
they're going to put something into you that's not going to be found.
And it's not like it's not like they're just gonna like hand you a cocktail and a joint and be like, "Hey, live your best life."
And then we're gonna put something.
And then we're gonna put something in your butt. No, they're gonna be like, "Hold on."
Yeah,
and then
there's
like,
there's no dinner.
There's no hug. There's no dinner. There's no cocktails. There's nothing. So yeah, aliens. It's fine if they want to come. But I just don't want them to come for me.
Just leave me alone.
Like
it's going to be great when you reveal yourselves and
just leave me alone.
And if you
don't come to me.
If you need me to look the other way while you probe someone, I can do that. I will be like, nope, I didn't see it. I didn't see it.
I'm here. Give me shots.
Nope, I didn't see anything. Wait, can someone please bring me a drink? And like, I need a drink. And so I'll be preoccupied with waiting for a drink while whoever gets probed. So I didn't see anything because I'm too worried about the drink and everything. And like, but I don't know if I want to be probed.
Well, who does?
I don't know that you get to pick either.
So,
that's kind of the point of the fear.
Yeah.
I don't want
so,
that.
but
that's the scary part of aliens.
I know.
Yeah, but in your work, you're wanting to.
Go in my butt?
What?
Anyway, go on.
I don't know that we can.
Yes.
Why can't they go on? Like,
so you're wanting
or something.
You're wanting to.
Why do they choose the buds? I have questions. Hold on.
I don't know. I guess because it's universal.
I've seen reports that it's not just the butt. It's the head. It's the thighs. It's like
the shoulder.
I'm okay with the other parts. I just, I'm gonna just say,
Yeah. And then when you try to go get it checked out, then it mysteriously disappears. So,
you have a lump in your butt. Yeah. How do you explain the lump in your butt? But there again, if you're putting something in somebody's shoulder,
What?
there's a good chance of them finding it. But if you put it in their butt,
Listen, I got a freaking, and don't think I've forgotten it. You know, I have 110 conspiracy theories.
oh yeah,
Plus
light bulbs.
Plus
Watch
99.
They're
No, that
listening.
was ridiculous. That was
That
just
was
a
hilarious.
joke. That wasn't me. But like, I got the COVID
Yeah, I did too. Did
vaccine
you get COVID shots?
because I had to.
No, good.
I did not want to. Good for you. I'm glad you did not get it.
3 rounds, I think.
Oh fuck no! I did 2. That was all I had to have. 3.
Called it a day.
That third one was on you, bruh.
But
that's on you, bruh.
I'm fine. So
Anyway.
But yeah, I'm wanting to explore and write about these topics.
Yeah, I mean, dude, that's like awesome.
And I'm like, hold on, COVID vaccine gave me a lump.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So when you say cryptids, as far as it comes into your comics, you know, are we talking like the Bigfoots and the, you know, things like that?
I haven't really got to get into that yet. That's just what I want. Like the next project I'm doing, that I'm going to try and start working on once the Kickstarter's over and some of these side projects that I'm working with other people kind of get wrapped up. I want to simultaneously work on 2 projects that are specifically these stories, and one of them will be a Western.
Western.
Yes. Involving Bigfoot and some government conspiracies and dragging in the Hudson Bay Company to that where these things kind of intersect and cause conflicts of interest and cover-ups and stuff like that in the Old West and eradication. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's really cool. I look forward to seeing some of that. So and you have, you know, those projects. That's one that you've yet to start.
Yeah, I've written some of it and I have drawn a few of the pages, although I'm kind of considering that. So I'm doing it, instead of doing it in the comic book format, I'm doing it in a manga format, and the manga format's a little bit smaller, so it's a lot faster to make pages, but they're also like, they're so much smaller, you don't want to have all the structure and confinement of a comic.
He's telling.
Oh, he is? Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, hold on.
She asked me, she's like, do you know what a manga format is? I was like, no, but
we're the Gen Xers and you're the millennials, so we're gonna need a little help with this.
Okay.
Come on,
so your general comic book that ends up being like 6x10 is drawn on pages that are 11x17. So they're like, you know, almost double the size. And then your manga paper is the same situation. So you have a manga chapter that's about this big. It's like what, 4x6, something in that area. Well, the paper is a little bit bigger. It's like letter size paper, 8.5x11.
Right.
So that paper is significantly smaller than your comic book paper, and so when you are when you look at a manga page, things seem to kind of go off the page a lot more. Things are a lot less confined and structured because you don't have so much space to work with to when you like physically when you're drawing it. So I've kind of brought that comic book structure to the manga page, and I don't like it as much. Like I want it to kind of expand a little bit more because it just doesn't feel right. So like I'm gonna experiment a little bit with that. But I have drawn those first few pages, but I might go through another rewrite and and nail down the introduction. But yeah, I am working a little bit on that. Again, I got some projects that popped up with this, especially with this Kickstarter. I'm trying to make sure that it gets out and gets funded.
Yeah.
And then I'm working with the badges again for Stan at the Paracon, and then I have a YouTuber that I might be doing illustrations for in the near future. So just trying to finish that.
You're doing the badges for the Paracon this year?
Yeah, I did them last year too.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah.
Love that.
So, dude, man, I wish you all the luck with that. And
I appreciate it.
And apparently, here in a second, we're going to be able to see some of the stuff that your website and stuff like that. So I'll know how I can kind of be a part of that process and following you and see.
You want me to go ahead and get that popped up?
It's kind of smart.
Yeah, that would be amazing. Let's see if Stan is.
I figured.
Yeah.
Awesome. So this is the main website, AmericanDemonComics.com. This is on my business cards. This is what I try to push. Recently, I've made some changes. I added the mailing list here. And if you want to jump in on the mailing list, that's the bare minimum I ask people to do. Just go subscribe and you'll get a free comic.
Hell yeah.
The free first issue of Envy. You'll get the high quality PDF. And then that you can download.
And
then
Austin,
also,
not to interrupt, but what is because the address may not be the best on this. Where do they find this? What can they type into? What's the domain name?
It's AmericanDemonComics.com.
Perfect. Yeah, and I asked that because Amy was like, I can't see the.
Devin was asking too.
Yeah, and Devin's over there, and
Devin was very interested.
Asking too. So yeah. As a matter of fact, Amy just said, I'm signing up right now. So
perfect.
So I just want to make sure that if people listening, can't see that, because it is really, now that I know what it says, I can read it. But yeah, so AmericanDemonComics.com, and then hit the mailing list. Be sure to subscribe, and you'll get a first volume of Envy.
Yep. The first 18 pages, where I made that first jump from doing it on Webtoons to doing it on your standard comic book style. And that was fun. But it's a good read. Everybody says they like it, but when I look back on it, I'm like, man, I gotta change things, But yeah, the mailing list also has updates on Kickstarters, which is great. It also has updates on the comic itself. So when I release an update, you will get it first there. You'll get notified there, like for sure. You get all my event things happening. So if I'm going to a convention nearby, I usually post about that, and I post interviews, stuff like that. Just everything that's just kind of behind the scenes, or going on with American Demon Comics. It's a great resource. Sign up for. And then on the front page, you can see I've got the individual updates, and then I've got the chapters. Chapter 1 is just 3 updates. I was able to squeeze a lot into that, but when you go to an update, they're not all like this, because it took me a little bit to get into a routine of how I set it up and everything, but most of the updates on your desktop have a good quality full page that you can read on the desktop. And then when you go to it on the mobile device, you will have a scrollable format. So if you've ever been on Webtoons, it is set up in that manner. So I'll click on an episode, and you can see me down in the window. You do a vertical scroll to read it. So panel by panel.
Dude, that's awesome.
Just so that people have access to it, and they're not having to zoom in and figure out the page on their mobile phone, because that's not super easy. And then I recently updated the about page. So if you want to know a little bit more about each character, I've got them, a little tiny synopsis and picture for them. And then obviously I mentioned everything's split into chapters. That was also a new update that I've had to figure out. But it's all set up, and I wanted to make it super accessible. I got my social media links: Blue Sky, Reddit, my another link to Substack, X, TikTok, Instagram, all that stuff's there. So right now the banner goes to my Kickstarter. So when you click on it, it'll pop you over to my Kickstarter that's going on right now. It's only got 9 days left. So if you want to get in on this and help get it funded, if you like me as a person and you just want to it's just 15.
How many days? Payday's Friday. How many days?
Like that, I'll be like,
if you like us, yeah, you're talking. So you're. Am I reading this right?
Him, it's fine.
Everybody likes.
Sometimes
you more
people
than me.
like him more than me.
No. So you're looking to raise. If I'm seeing this right, your goal is 750.
Yes.
And you're at 557 or 567.
Yes.
Sometimes
they are hard sometimes, especially after that damn shot.
Come on, everybody, let's do this.
Let's get him to 750, and if somebody can, if we get to 750 before the end of the show, we'll send you a T-shirt.
Yeah. I'll send you a T-shirt. I'll send you everything I got. If you
get 2 T-shirts, you'll either get one of the Historic Ghost Watch T-shirts or a Wicked Paranormal T-shirt, and then we'll add in one of his T-shirts. So last one that takes us over 750. We'll definitely get you 2 T-shirts. So that's half the cost right there. So
absolutely.
But yeah, dude, man. This stuff's amazing. And can you go back? Because I just want to let people see kind of and I don't know if that movie that I see with the play button there shows some of the talent that you have. But can you go somewhere just so we can see a little bit of your, a little bit more of the style and how you.
I will run through this description real quick, and while I'm doing that, I'll open up some of these images.
I don't know shit about this.
So when you get to the Kickstarter, if you want to know what you're getting into, I have all the descriptions here about what's going on in the story and how the rewards work. So this is my cover that I have made for issue number 3. And then this is the variant cover that's exclusive.
Dude, that's amazing.
This one was made by Jonathan McDaniel, a good friend of mine that I met at a horror convention. And he does awesome work. I love everything he makes. And so this is only 40 copies printed. I'm not going to print any more than that. So it has a little bit higher of a price. But then... as we go on down, we have the some of the actual pages that I've made. So if people are curious about, again, what they're getting into, what they're pledging for, I've got some of the story here, some of the what's going on, so that they can take a look at that. And as you can see, I kind of experiment with different panel layouts, different storytelling devices. I got this splash page here. So yeah, and then here are all the variant covers so far. So this is my variant cover. This is Adam Caswell's variant cover of Archangel Michael from issue number 2. And then this is the current issue number 3 variant cover by Jonathan. If you want to back, I highly recommend, and you've never got anything, is the Marquise. So this is the physical standard issue covers. If you want to get all 3 of the comics and get them all signed, as well as get all the digital PDF of copies of the comic, this is a good one to back. And then I have the King bundle, which has all these variant covers with a big discounted price, as well as your digital PDF catch-up bundle. And there's only 5 of them left because I only have 7 copies of my very first one on me right now. So 2 people have pledged for those, and we got 5 of them left. And then there's some stretch goals. I'm not going to get into stretch goals right now. I want to make sure that it's funded. But the first one, at least, is if we got to $1,000, everybody would be getting this sticker. It's a glow in the dark. I always get my stickers.
That's amazing.
I always get them made by Sticker Ninja, and they do really good, high quality, durable stickers. So this is usually sold at $5. So if we got to 1,000, everybody that backs it would get the sticker in their physical rewards. But let me jump in to these images real quick if you want to take a look at them. If you have any questions.
Yeah.
What's going on?
I'm hearing beside me, that's insane.
So here, Envy is waking up for the first time since she has been changed from demon to human. So issue number 2 really was like the origin story of Envy, how she ended up being a human. So she's having to figure all that out. And then her rival from hell, Asmodee or Lust, is here to kind of pick on her. One of our characters, Gaz, kind of gets in gets it in him that he doesn't want to be a part of this, but Fritz and Lust aren't going to let people just kind of get out and walk away because it's very dangerous for them. Here's one of the Native Americans that I have from the Muskogee tribe. That's kind of local to us here. He's out and having just kind of a spiritual getaway with some of the people, some of his family in the tribe, and he onsets a vision when he's asking for the spirits to cleanse their forest. And so I kind of took the idea of the Thunderbird and then warped the idea of the Phoenix with it, because Phoenix is a demon in the Goetia, which is just a derivative of Phoenix. And so I had Phoenix kind of take the role as the Thunderbird for them in that scenario. And then here's Envy. She's working a job at a gym now. I picked a gym because I know I know the ins and outs of a gym, so I thought it'd be kind of fun to work with that. And also, she kind of gets into it here with Sam, which is in an ironic circle because Sam is the girlfriend of the person who was sacrificed in order to summon Envy in the first place. So that's a lot of fun going on there.
Yeah.
And then this is the Phoenix again. This is her form that she took once being summoned. And she's having kind of an inner monologue of how she ended up being relegated to a demon instead of being an angel. So yeah. That's just kind of the synopsis for each page. This one was with the first page in Hell. It's just kind of setting up the vibe and the setting of what's of the palace there. We have people kind of like what's the Sisyphus stone? Am I saying that right? But instead of that,
yes.
but instead of pushing a stone up the mountain, people are having to endlessly try and climb this wall, this rock face, and fall into a pit of where demons will just eat them. So yeah, it's a lot of fun to play with, and this is issue number 3 has been a lot of fun, but it's really ramping up the story for issue number 4. It's going to be absolutely wild, and again, I just if you at all are interested in this project, you can go get I have the digital only catch up. Let me scroll up here on this tier. So I've got the issue number 3 by itself as a digital copy, and then the physical copy of issue 3, just $10. Then if you want the full PDF catch up, it's 15, and then the signed NV number 3 with the PDF catch up is just $20. So you could get the whole story plus the new issue coming out for $20 here, a $20 pledge. And if we have like about 5 to 10 more people pledge at about a $20 to $30 rate, that would be probably fund the campaign. So it does include shipping. So if you pledge, you get a little $6 shipping cost, but that goes into the funding goal as well. But yeah, that's if you're at all interested in the supernatural and demons and demonic lore, and then also a fictional, world made up of this lore, I highly suggest you go check it out. It's, I'm very manga inspired. I'm inspired by the gargoyles from back in the 90s and 2000s when that show was coming up. So this particular project is like Attack on Titan and gargoyles kind of meshed. So that's my pitch.
That's your pitch. That's it.
That was great. You got me sold for sure.
So we know you got two helpers right here with this.
Awesome.
Yeah, I mean that sounds, and I want to talk to you a little bit. This will be like after the fact about how if you came up with something like maybe even like a logo for the show, for a contribution to your project.
Yeah,
something like that where we could work out a little bit of something. That way it's kind of like a rubbing each other's back kind of way where, you help us out a little bit and we'll help you out a good bit. And
I'll even put you in the comic if you help out,
Cameo.
Well, I mean, like, as well, in the future, I could theoretically put you as a character or something in that matter. But I'm talking about like sponsorship kind of, web, paranormal radio. And if I make you a new logo, it'll be the new logo with, the kind of an accredited spot in the
not to talk business on air. That's not what I'm meant to do.
Well, it goes for anybody else too.
yeah but I'm kind of, I don't want to say inspired, but I guess that's kind of the best word, to do what I can. It's to kind of contribute into your goals. But then I was thinking, I'm looking at your artwork and I'm thinking, dude, we're wanting to have a logo going forward. for the show. And then as I'm listening to you talk and I'm hearing, your dreams and everything evolve and, kind of where you want to go and what you've done and the stories that you've got going on, I was like, dude, am I the only one? Well, I guess I am the only one thinking it, but you know what I'm saying? It's almost like dude, this is like a perfect scenario for helping out somebody who needs to, they got this project that you're wanting to get off the ground. And so it's kind of like two needs hitting perfectly parallel. And so again, not to bring up business on the air, but I'm more than would love the fact that you helped us out with something like that. I think that would be an honor. Sounds kind of cheesy, but it's kind of accurate. I would think that would be the perfect kind of coming together of two different avenues. And I can't honestly think of somebody I would rather have do that for us. So we'll talk off air,
Right. Yeah.
about that. But yeah, I would love to see what we could come up with to help you out a little bit. And then have a nice working relationship going forward. To where, not that by making our logo you're obligated to do things further down the road, but you know what I'm saying, just this.
Yeah.
So yeah, something that I would love to have you do for us. But in the
Absolutely.
meantime, I hope we can get you some support and get that off the ground for you. Your artwork is, I mean, beside me, I keep hearing this is
No, it's really great. Like the composition, especially. You were saying you were playing with the different, paneling styles, as well as just generally your composition is really, really nice. And I think it flows very well together, just the little bits that we saw. So that's really great. And, once I get those links from these guys, I'll definitely be sharing it on my socials. So
Great.
I'm so here for it. Absolutely.
I appreciate it.
And Austin and everybody else out there.
Oh, hi, I'm Devin. If you've never actually seen my face.
She's usually over there on the side. I'm
the peanut gallery that they always talk about.
Yeah. And so yeah, Amy was like, okay, Devin, this is absolutely up your alley.
For sure.
And so that's why she sort of popped out and let Devin join us there, because this is, like I said, right up your alley.
I love manga, I love comics, and things like that. So it's like I may have popped in a little bit late, but like I'm so here for the storyline. Like we're so here.
Awesome.
So
yeah. So go ahead.
I was just gonna say, the last time that I ran a Kickstarter, it was people kind of found it like I was like reaching for my dreams to like have it funded and have it published and stuff. Last time, it's really just a stepping stone. So it's not going to be the biggest defeat in the world if it doesn't fund. And I don't want people to feel absolutely obligated. But again, I'm just, if you are at all interested, it would be I would love it if you went and pledged just a little bit. But again, it's a stepping stone, and it's not going to make or break my career to not have this one funded. I'm just gonna keep going, and another 50 pages in, I'll start another one. So
yeah, but that being said, it would certainly help.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now with this, campaign that you've got going on with this, Kickstarter, what are you looking to use this to get off the ground?
So this funding goal covers the printing of the comic. It'll cover 120 issues, 40 of those being the variant cover. and then it will cover the shipping. And that's almost it. I will probably have some leftover money to get some new stickers, just to have like new fresh stuff on the table when I, go out to conventions and stuff. But the 750 goal is the minimum goal that will help, uh, get the project printed and then get it shipped out to people that backed it that are far away. So, but if you got into stretch goal territory, you get into the $1,000 or the $1,200. That every 250 tick, that's going to help me continue to get, like, that would run more comics printing. I'd get more and get more copies. I can sign up for more conventions. I can do more stuff with a little bit more money. And that's all it is right now. So I hope that in the future, it's going to be a living. And I dread the day that I got to do taxes on all that, but but I do hope that it is going to be my full-time career. And and these Kickstarters are to be built up as an audience gets built up, to be in the 10,000, 30,000, 40,000 to keep a studio running, keep lights on for me, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I mean, and I don't know. I don't want to say touched, but the genuinity of
the authenticity.
Yes, thank you. That's why. Yeah.
I like genuality though. That one's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
Is that even a word?
No.
Okay. That's like, I had a friend of mine, my old partner when I worked for the state. And she went to interview in the I forget, the detective division of something.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, "Why do you think you're good for this job?" And she said, "I'm very observative."
That's a good one too.
Yeah.
You can get away with genuality, right? Did you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
I also back you up.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. But
yes, the authenticity.
back to what I was trying to say was, I mean, you're not out to get like thousands. You're not out to get this. You're out to get what it takes to get what you want done. In other words, you're not saying, "I want to get this done and I want a Big Mac meal." I want to put 100% of my money raised back into your dream. And that's kind of refreshing. In a day where Kickstarters and things like that are abused, you went with the minimum of what you need to get. You went with, I want to get A, B, and C done, and it's going to cost me this amount. That's how much I want to raise. And so, I'm impressed by that. I think that, with your talent and all of that, I think that's, I don't know, it's like a warm and fuzzy. It's
nice. It's nice to see the honesty.
Yes. Again,
I appreciate it.
Yeah. That's why we have you. But yeah, and so I wish you luck with that, and hopefully we can help you get a little bit more people seeing who you are and what you do. And it's nice to be able to kind of get your version and your view into the story that you've written, and that you're continuing to write. So yeah, dude, man, I wish you all the luck in the world on this.
I really appreciate it.
So you've, in addition to the envy, what all do you have that's in the works?
Well, like I said, I have the Western Bigfoot project I want to work on. and then I have a fantasy project that I've been wanting to do, and I didn't jump into that because I knew that that would be so demanding for me, that it's never made a story before like this. I've written short stories. I've done a lot of role play in World of Warcraft that is a lot of
Yes.
storytelling, and a lot of having to learn how to write and figure out who else writes good, and um, but a big fantasy project like my Game of Thrones or whatever is just too out of scope right now. So I want to put all my love into these next two projects to kind of really stretch my storytelling, again, this is all figuring out this whole process in just making this stuff. So and then I haven't heard back from him, and this is not like a set in stone kind of thing, but there's this YouTuber that goes by Bob Gimlin. His name's not really Bob Gimlin, but that is the alias he goes by, because it's one of the guys that did that original Gilman Patterson Bigfoot video clip, and he does a lot of review and writing of firsthand accounts of what is really just about any kind of unknown thing, but mainly Bigfoot. And then he also goes over like his theories on uh, the facts of what Bigfoot could possibly be thinking. He draws a lot of parallels between, like, the discovery of the ape and what the discovery of Bigfoot might kind of look like, because they're on like very similar tracks.
And they really are. Yeah.
Yeah. And but he's a really big YouTuber, does all that, and I had reached out to him to say if he needed anybody else to fill in for his illustrations, because typically if he's telling a story that's that he's rewritten, that was sent in by somebody, he has it illustrated. And he did get back to me about a month ago, but he said that he's working on a project, and he didn't want to jump into another project with me just yet. So a month had passed by. 3 days ago, I sent another email out to him saying, "Hey, just checking to see if I'm going to be still on board for this." I haven't heard back from him, but it did take him like 3 months to get back to me the first time. So I'm not really surprised. He's busy. So I'm hoping that goes through. That would be awesome. I not only love his content, but he's also got he's very seems very good to work with, very easy to work with, and then he also has like a really big channel that would be, I think, good for having eyes on some of my stuff. So it's just a little bit of a win-win there. Other than that, I take on some projects, like I'm working on the badge for Stan and for the Para-Con, and then I'll do commissions if people were interested in commissions. I'd like to do my own characters if at all possible, because I don't have to worry about that being a rights issue, and I can also resell it in at a stand or something. But aside from that, I just tried and grind away at the comic.
And again, you've got my kind of like the gears running in my head too, and I don't know, like a full page, I don't know if that would be called a panel or something like that, but typically how fast does something like that, or how long does like a full page if you have the story, if you have the background, if you have, what you're trying to convey, how long does something like that take you to draw?
It takes on average. This isn't including the thumbnailing process, and this is not including the general sketch on the actual physical board. It generally takes about 8 to 9 hours, like very average. 'Cause some of them are like 5 hours, and some of them can be recorded at 15 hours. I have a little counter in my Clip Studio Paint program that has a recording time as I work on it, that just tracks that timing for me. A
Right.
lot of them land in the 8-hour range, and so that's anywhere from 8.5 to 9 hours if you add in the preliminary stuff.
Right. No, I was just because I don't know. I was thinking with what you're doing on yours, but there's also some things that with my brain, I'm thinking, going forward with some stuff, kind of on the side. With you, I think it would be really interesting if we have stories that are really hard to convey, and having a representation visually to kind of show, if we can meaning if I'm thinking of from the paranormal standpoint, doing our investigations, there's been some of the things that we've encountered that have been really hard to explain. And so, if we could get, you or someone like you to kind of get the grasp of what we're trying to convey and then turn that into a panel or, a one page or somewhere similar.
Right.
That would be really cool in trying to express some of the stuff that we're trying to convey. So again, business sense running in the background there. But that they're again something that, not to interrupt kind of the things that you've got going on, because I think that's where your heart is at, as it should be. But just some kind of side projects to discuss later. Yeah, that would be something really cool for at least us, and you'd get some cool stories out of it. But yeah, so. Dude, the envious. So that's where it started with you. When did you come up with that concept, that that desire to get it in print so people could actually see what?
Well, when I started as a webtoon, and I thought that webtoon would be the primary vehicle to getting it out. Turns out webtoon has everything kind of does this, where it kind of finds the sweet spot of what it is, and it'll really ramp up that sweet spot. And webtoons really did that with romance and anime stuff. So like if you had a combination of those two, writing and style, it really is perpetuated on that platform. So what I was doing was not really getting very much traction, but I was trying to push it at like conventions and stuff for, like half a year. The first year I came to the Para-Con, it was still just a webtoon. And I had gone to about 3 conventions. I went to one after the Para-Con, and somebody was like, do you have this? Is this the I had like a zine on Fritz, like just a little bit about how I made her as a villain and stuff. And people kept asking, is this the comic? They were like looking for the comic, and I'm like, it's on Webtoons, it's for free, like you can, it's accessible, you can look at it. I didn't have to worry about a website that I had to upkeep. I didn't have to worry about a publishing kind of situation, and that's why I really liked it. But people didn't really resonate with that unless they were already a Webtoons reader. if they were already a webtoons reader, they didn't like that genre. So it
Right.
was like, you know, and for those who don't know, Webtoon is an app that is just basically like a YouTube for comics. So anybody can take a comic that they made in a scrollable format and put it on Webtoons for anybody to look at. But again, they have a very set algorithm and audience that they have attracted. So if you're outside, it's very difficult. If you're outside of that manga or anime style and romance, it's difficult to get traction there. Some do, but when you do that, though, if you find yourself being successful on Webtoons, you have to be, or you will probably be offered contracts and deals, and you would be then obligated to a contract and obligated to the Webtoon standards that they want you to be. So that's a double-edged sword when you get into other people contracting you. So I stepped away from Webtoons about 2 years ago in August. So I guess it's been about a year and a half. And that's what's perpetuated this as a more independent, thing that I've built.
Yeah. Which makes it even more difficult.
A little bit, it here and there.
Yeah, difficult, but more in line with, your heartstrings, more in line with, yeah. So, yeah, I get that. I get that. And I met you at the Paracon 2 years ago.
Right.
Yeah. And I passed you 2 or 3 times and said, dude, as soon as I can, I want to come over and visit. And we got to visit briefly, way too briefly. But I was impressed then. And so, yeah, I hope that we can kind of do what we can to help you out with that, because
absolutely,
I think it's a worthy cause. And like I said, with the talent that I see, and I keep seeing shaking heads over beside me. Yeah, I want to do everything that we can. So, as far as, let's see, you've got the next phase coming out with Envy. And
yeah.
And
issue.
Yeah, issue 3.
Yes.
So, what?
Kiss is late.
Oh, sorry. Thought that was that was for us. That wasn't. So yeah, it's, I don't know. I look forward to see what you've got going on and what you.
When I get done with issue number 4, I'm not sure if I'm going to make a comic for it specifically. I might, because I'll have people that have 1 through 3 and they want 4, but I'm really thinking I'll just stick to doing a soft cover volume omnibus of all 4, and start to phase out the comics as single issues. Just because typically an omnibus is a little bit more practical, a little bit more fulfilling when you buy it. But I'll probably still have an issue 4 though, because I know a lot of people will have their single issues. But that will be a whole new that'll be a whole new frontier to tackle, because that I think that will require a little bit more nuance in my my hunt for a printer that will print at high quality, at a good price, and do the thing, be easy to work with. I might still use Comics Wellspring, I don't know, But that'll be a whole new frontier, and it'll be a little bit more pricey. But I'm hoping to get my first volume wrapped up with issue number 4. And I think that Envy will be a 2-volume story. So I'm thinking approximately 300 to 400 pages.
Right. And so, and not being, and I love the genre. I love I don't know, the artwork, and I love the story, and I love the way that it's conveyed in, the medium that you use. But I'm not familiar with. I'm not. Although I love that, it's not something that I necessarily am probably as knowledgeable as. Um, but when you say omnibus, that would be like a a book of volumes 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah.
And that would be then a printed
soft cover or hardcover, like a normal book with the spine.
Yeah.
Got the logo on it. It's not flat and it's not as flimsy.
Yeah, it's
as a
yeah. And that is then also your ultimate goal with Envy is to have then the 1 through 4 in the first one, and then I guess 5 through 8 in the second one, thus concluding the story of Envy. And that's where you as the artist and the writer want to see the end game for this project that's running around in your head.
Right. And it's very fun because I really don't know if it's going to be another 4 issues. It might be another 12. It's just how I plant the seeds. I think that I have planted enough of the seeds that I'm not going to be putting out anything that's crazy, like extra characters. There's going to be more demons that are going to be getting involved, but they have a very good through line with the plot. But it's very fun to see how this has all the seeds, where the seeds were planted and how they have grown into a story, because issue number 4 is going to be very, very jam packed with how this convergence is going to happen with all my characters, with a season finale kind of feeling, and so the way that it has got there, though, I didn't really plan. This wasn't in the outline, but as I made these, planted them, they have grown into something I didn't see before. So it it's still a little bit more condensed. It's a little bit shorter than I actually kind of want it to be. I think that maybe I don't pace each moment like I want to, but it's still grown into something that I didn't foresee. And so I think that as the story goes on, there might be some moments like that continues to happen. So it could go to 9 issues. It could go to 10 issues. Just however it lands. But I have a skeleton. I have the outline written and figured out where, this happens, and this is how it ends. But all the stuff getting there is not that super fleshed out.
Yeah, and everything that is available. You brought it up when you showed your website. Where you can get 1, 2, and 3. To get caught up with everything that, as far as the Envy storyline goes. And that struck me. Was that how much was that? It was what, 10 or 20? How much was to get the first three?
Yeah, the first three is like 30,
Okay.
35. Yeah, it's 35. It's called the Marquise tier. So you get all three.
Yeah, and you know, even if, you know, down the road, once this whole thing has come to fruition, to have that part of it before it comes to, you know, that would be, I don't know, I think that would be really cool for someone that, you know, you came in on the ground floor of it. And,
Oh yeah.
And so yeah. So yeah, payday's Friday, dude. I'm good to get, you know, 1 through 3. You know, so I'm committing my help to you right there for at least that.
Awesome.
Just because
Well, when you pledge, the money doesn't come out. It comes out once
yeah, that's true.
once it is ended. So it ends on May 3rd, at 8 a.m. and that's when all pledges will start getting processed. So you could pledge 150 right now and then just unpledge that 150 and it'll never do anything. You know, if you
Yeah,
take that 150 off before the end of the campaign, it's, you know, it won't charge you anything.
yeah. Austin, let me ask you, if somebody wants to, you know, go about this in another way, then, like, you know, they really want to see your work, but, you know, it you don't hit your goal, it doesn't come out, it doesn't whatever. Is there a way that they can just order, you know, these outright?
No, a lot of this is going to be exclusively on Kickstarter. It's part of what makes a Kickstarter really fun.
Right.
Is that this is one of the only chances that people far away can get in on it. So it's what makes a Kickstarter pretty, you know,
Special.
appealing and lucrative. And not only that, but it's like also they're cheaper. Like your tier bundles will make things cheaper. So it's a really good incentive to get in on it while I have the Kickstarter going. Now that being said, I do sell these at conventions, but you have to be close and you have to be going to the same convention that I end up at
Yeah,
to get
really.
it. So
Yes.
so
So either way, I'm okay because I'll be there with you next time.
right.
So yeah, but for other people, yeah. So the nuts and bolts of it is, if this is something that's interesting you, if you've seen kind of the what I've seen during talking to Austin, you know, this is the time to jump in and kind of, you know, help him out.
If you like it, do it.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
because, you know, we need to get to that point. So then, Austin's helped out with the dreams that he's got going forward with this. You know, from everything I've seen, this incredible series. So yeah, not to sound like we're doing a telethon or anything, but you know, it's, you've sold me.
I think that's probably one of those things that's
Yeah,
become
they don't do those anymore, do they?
No, but like
they're in a different.
Hold on, my phone's ringing. Yeah, yes. Got Jerry on from New Hampshire. Yeah, Jerry. No, but I don't want it to have that feel, but I also, you know, I don't know. I think it's a worthy thing. You're not that far from your goal. And you know, if a couple people even do the you know, 1 through 3, so they're caught up, they're ready to go for when 4 hits. You know, it's not going to take that many people to get you to your goal,
Right.
and so,
and even if you see me at a convention, you can still go to the Kickstarter because it helps me a lot more than getting it at a convention. Because if you
both,
yeah, but if you go to see me at a convention, I might not have it because you didn't pledge to it on the Kickstarter. So
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly
But
right.
I sell stickers, I sell pins, I sell T-shirts, all that stuff that's not available on a Kickstarter is also, ready to go at a convention if that was, something that people want to have.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like a pay it forward with bonuses.
With bonuses.
Yeah.
You gotta love pay it forward.
Yeah, because like
With-
because that's kind of to me, like that's what Kickstarters are, is like you pledge your not necessarily like a donation, but like you pledge your pledge, and then you not only get the word out, you get the word out. You help get a dream project off the ground. So then that way, when you do see people at conventions, like they have the product and like the thing that you really
help
like,
generate.
and and then you can get it to other people as well. And then it's just a nice thing, and it also helps at the same time. So.
Yeah, it's a good thing, and it helps people that like you that have this passion, and you just need help getting it off the ground. And from what I saw from the different things that you're offering at the different tiers, you're not making it out of reach. You're not like trying to like get everything. You know what I'm saying? You're going at like this. It's like just this much will help me.
Yeah.
It's I guess in essence what I'm trying to say is you're not out to trying to make bank.
Mm-hmm.
You're trying to get what you need to start your dream.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well, that's the hope, is eventually make bank, but
but you're not saying
it's humble beginnings.
you're not saying give me bank now.
You got to start
You're
at square
saying,
one.
Yeah, you're saying give me the ability.
Mm-hmm.
Give me what I need to do it on my own.
Mm-hmm.
Because it doesn't matter how talented you are if you can't be seen, and if you can't get these little things going, then you'll never be seen.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're saying all I'm wanting is this much so I can get this leg up, so I can get this process started. And it's not like you're asking for if I could just raise 100,000, then I can get this and printing presses. And no, dude, you're saying I just need this amount.
Mm-hmm.
And so, Nude, I respect that. I think that's awesome. And
I want to bring up real quick, if Stan could bring up the screen again. I wanted to I almost forgot, but you get this is a sticker that I have not made yet. This is a brand new, fresh, gonna
That's
be
awesome.
sticker.
I love that.
I love it.
And if you back for a physical reward, you will get this sticker for free. So this will be also included, another like $3 item included with the
God, I wish I could zoom in on that.
pledge.
They're really cool.
The teeth are amazing.
So again, you get really good deals with this Kickstarter, and I want to make it. I always want to make it worth it. I don't.
Dude, it's worth it. You don't need to worry about that.
Well, that's I do want to express that to people. I want you to get your money's worth when you make a pledge. So
and this with any pledge.
Yes, with any physical pledge, because then I can just put it in. I can add it in to your order, and it can be mailed with it.
Well, he's got different tiers where it's like there's the PDFs and then there's like the physical copies. So like with the physical copy, the sticker comes with it.
Yeah. This is why y'all are doing this show, not me.
Can you hear her back there? I'm kind of out of element too, but it's something. Artwork like that, I absolutely love.
Now, I understand that this is y'all and this is not me.
Yeah. So
I don't know if it's been asked, but I've been wanting to know what has been your favorite part of the creative process with getting all of this done? Like, has that been asked yet? Did I ask? Did anybody ask?
I'm just
I wanna know-
enamored, so I've been asking like, so,
Yeah, like what has been your favorite part of your creative process getting this off the ground, as well as like the things that you've learned along the way? For like, what's been your favorite part about it all?
Oh, I don't know. I think my favorite part is just getting to finally have it come to fruition. It's hard to put into words because like every part is so important. There's one thing that I dislike. Well, there's a few things I dislike. I wish I had somebody to like market stuff for me. That would be one like magical wish. I would be like, just take care of social media, please. Like just go do that stuff. But one thing is that when I'm making a page, I have the subject and I have the background, and I want the subject to always be separated from the background. And so that I can shade it, I can give emphasis on the subject differently than the background. And so what I do is I make a layer in my program called whites. And so I basically just select the subject as a silhouette and then silhouette it white, because my stuff's black and white. So working with that makes this a little bit easier. And I put the whites in between the line work of the subject and the background lines. And if I had some AI tool to just do that for me, I hate doing that. And it's because I'm having to like I feel like I'm having to redraw something, but when I do it, it's so useful. I have a silhouette of the subject. I can now just click on that layer, boom, all the subjects are now selected. I don't have to worry about going outside of the lines when I'm shading it or toning it, and or if I'm erasing something on it, or if I'm making a change to the background. Like if I'm putting shadows down under the subject, well, the subject already has a white layer separating it, so I don't have to worry about going around it with a shadow. I just go straight through it, and the shadow shows up where it's supposed to. So it's very useful. I just hate having to do that. Everything else is fun. I love getting to draw it and pencil it and ink it and tone it and letter it, and then put it all together. And that all that stuff's fun.
Yeah. And I gotta ask, because I don't know, I'm an idiot, but
Listen, we're all learning.
Yeah, but it looked like you almost said to meet them, or to meet, and I don't know if that was just me, but the conception that I got was, I saw in kind of like my mind's eye, because you said, I'd love to meet, and then you stopped. And so I was wondering then, the purpose of me bringing up my dumbassness is to say, is that something that you look forward to? Is you have this concept, this person or whatever in your brain, and to see that come to kind of like reality in front of you, does that feel kind of like you're meeting them, that you're like...
Absolutely. They're different things. Like they're always going to be brushed with your own signature. So whenever you're doing anything in art, you have a signature that you put on it, and it's super duper subtle. It can be super obvious, but it can also be very subtle. But it's a signature that I think people can always see. No matter how much you're trying to do like a 1-for-1 kind of thing, trying to mimic somebody else's style or something. But I think the same thing goes for the personality of your characters. But they are all their own person. Like once you kind of put your identity that you have for them on them, then you just kind of let that work in the world with the other characters and see what happens. which is how this kind of got very fun with so I just showed you the new sticker. That's Lust. That's Asmodee. And then on this cover, you see Fritz holding the dagger in the front. And Fritz and Lust have become good friends because they're both absolutely power hungry, crazy, and and they're also kind of setting each other up for a problem because they're, you know, one in particular is not trustworthy, not loyal, not going to let a, you know, personality, you know, emotions and stuff get in the way of how she thinks, or, you know. So that's, you know, just those two ending up together is just so fun. Like how what are they gonna do? I don't know.
It's chaos
I'm
in
just
the
drawing this.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's coming from your mind, but it's already taken a mind of its own, or a life of its own. And yeah, that's yeah. So yeah, I saw that stop, and so I you know, if it was inaccurate in what you were trying to say, I felt it was still a worthy question to ask, because I can imagine, you know, you're seeing these personalities in your mind's eye, but then when they actually become reality, to where you're actually looking at them instead of thinking about them, I would imagine it would feel like you're meeting, you know, someone that you've heard about, someone that you know well, but you've never met them. And once they, you know, the artwork's done, and you step back and you're like, dude, you know, I'm finally meeting this individual.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine that. I'm a photographer, so what I see is, you know, it's what you get. I'm looking through the camera and making what I see the end result.
Right.
With you, it's completely different. You know, you're seeing it in here, not out here. And you're ending up with the end result that's coming through you. And so, dude, yeah, that just, I had to ask that. It was, you know,
That was a good question. I haven't got that one yet.
yeah, really. Yeah, really. But all right, so we're at the tail end of everything. So let everybody again know where they can find, you know, kind of your Kickstarter, your, you know, your stuff.
So again, the main website is americandemoncomics.com, and I ask that everybody signs up for the mailing list. Again, you get all the bare minimum is then you're now a part of the Legion. You're getting all the updates. You're getting um, not only updates on the comic, but updates on what I'm doing, where I might be, when the next Kickstarter might come out. And so, yeah, I might start after this Kickstarter. Give it about another 2 months. I might go ahead and start trying to get the pre-launch page for the next Kickstarter up in way in advance, so that people can start like following it and getting ready for issue number 4. And I build up a list. So a pre-launch page is pretty much just giving you a little bit of the taste of the Kickstarter, like what's it, you know, what's it going to have there. So that's useful, and people can save the project once they sign up for Kickstarter, and then once it goes live, they get an email notification, you know, so and so, or yeah, they'll get it through Kickstarter, they'll get it through my mailing list, that kind of thing. So it's super nice to go ahead and sign up for the mailing list. The website has my web versions of the comic uploaded. Before I send these to print, I usually go back over the pages, change any fonts I need to change any dialogue that I might feel could be delivered a little bit differently. It's not going to be like story changing or anything. I touch up a little bit of the art. I might touch up some of the tone, add a shadow here or there, change a nose or something before it goes to print. So you're getting something of like a soft remaster of once of the comic once it's before it goes to print. So keep that in mind. The quality is a little bit better once it's ready for print, but it is available online. And then the Kickstarter is going on right now at envy-comic.com. And I can go ahead and post that in the YouTube chat. But that's my redirect link that will take you to the Kickstarter. And it's got 9 days left. We are just under $200 until it funds.
No, that's not nice tea.
And we've got 15 backers. If you're into the supernatural, you're into the demons, and you're into shonen kind of esque manga, it's definitely worth the pledge. So everybody go check that out. And then on the main website, if you're looking for me on any social media, I'm on most things. I'm on Blue Sky, X, TikTok, Instagram. Those links take me there. Most of them you'll find me under American Demon Comics, but some of them you won't. So it's worth going to the website to find me on different social media platforms. And that's about it.
Yeah. See, already there.
Nice.
Chapter
1.
Yep. I just subscribed, and I will pledge later. Yeah, dude, it's been an honor. It's been a privilege. It's been a joy to talk to you. I know we've talked since the Para-Con once before. But yeah, to have you back on the show and have, I don't know, to contribute and to help in at least as much as we can by getting your voice out there and all of that. I don't know. I'd love having you here. So
well, I appreciate y'all having me on.
Yeah. So everybody, you've heard the links. It's posted right below us.
If you have questions, you can message one of us, me, Devin, or Kevin, and we'll be glad to let you know the link.
Yeah. But if you can, it's a worthy cause. It's not like he's out there trying to make $1 million. He's just looking to get things off the ground. So help him if you can. If not, subscribe. That way you can stay informed. A talented artist that's looking to get out there and get things going. So, but that being said, dude, thank you so much for being a part of our show.
Yes, thank you. We appreciate you.
Yeah, it's been a blast. Like I said, I was kind of out of element, so
it was out of my element. So I just wanted others take over that understood. So I'm like this is Devin's.
Yeah, it's something I love, but I don't know
this was you.
I don't know the terminology. I don't know I just know that it
the jargon.
Devin.
Yeah, I know it looks cool, and I love the art, and I love the genre. But other than that, I'm like, that's where.
Got you, millennial. Okay.
But dude, thank you so much. I wish you all the luck in the world. I hope that in some small way we were able to help you by having you on the show. I look forward to seeing you again. Are you going this year?
I'll be there this year.
Yep. Look forward to seeing you there.
So we'll see you in a couple months.
Yeah, it's coming up pretty soon.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we'll see you soon. And thank you for being a guest tonight. We appreciate you. And
thank you for having me on.
Yeah.
Y'all, we will not have a show next week because there's some life-changing things happening in my household.
The southern accent came out.
So we will not have a show next week, but we will have a show the following week, which we will have Brooke and Ronnie.
Yeah.
I just wanted Brooke, but Brooke
From
was just gonna bring Ronnie too.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, okay. So we're gonna have Brooke and Ronnie 2 weeks from today. So listen, thank y'all for joining in tonight. Thank you for listening. We appreciate you, Austin, and everybody have a great night, and we'll see you back here in 2 weeks.
But good night, everybody. Thank you for listening.